died in his house in the parish of St. Bride, just outside the city walls of London. Leaning up on one arm, he ran his fingers down the skin of his wife's back, golden in the candlelight. He drew them back again, slowly, up to her shoulders, moving her blonde hair aside so he could see her more fully. She is so precious, so beautiful, he thought. My Saxon princess, my Ethelfrida, my Etheldreda, my Audrey. He withdrew his hand as the candle in the alcove above him spluttered. He looked at the curve of the side of her breast, pressed into the bed. The feeling of their union was still with him. The ecstasy had not just been one thrill, it had been many simultaneous pleasures, all of which had merged into one euphoria that had overwhelmed him, leaving him aglow. She turned her head and smiled up at him again, lovingly. She was 25 years of age now. He felt lucky and grateful, not only for the pleasure, but also for the knowledge of just how great his pleasure could be. He leant over and kissed her. The candle in the alcove above the bed went out. He lay down and let his thoughts drift in the darkness. 6 months ago, he had almost destroyed his own happiness, disconcerted and attracted by another woman, Rebecca Machin. He shuddered as he remembered how he and Rebecca had been pursued, terrified together. She had seen him at his lowest, and he her. They had supported each other, and, in a way, he had fallen in love with her. But he had never had any doubts about his loyalty to his wife. That was what troubled him. 2 women, and 2 forms of love. It was not something that most God-fearing men and women ever spoke about. What did he feel for Rebecca now? In the darkness he sought his true feelings. There was a part of him that still loved her. His feelings for his wife were an inward thing, a matter of the heart. He loved Audrey because of what he knew about her, and what they had built together, what they shared. His affection for Rebecca Machin was the opposite, an outward thing. She showed him what he did not know, the doubts, the wonder, and the fear that he knew existed in the world. That outward-looking, questioning part of his nature worried him. The reason he had spent so much time with Rebecca was his possession of a secret document, and that document was still here, in this house. Audrey did not know. That, in itself, felt like a betrayal. The document was so dangerous that men had died because of it. When Rebecca's husband, Henry Machin, had given it to him the previous year, the man had declared that the fate of 2 queens depended on its safekeeping. And when Clarenceux had discovered its true nature, a marriage agreement between Lord Percy and Anne Boleyn, which proved that Queen Elizabeth was illegitimate and had no right to the throne, he had understood why it was so sensitive. Only when Sir William Cecil, the Queen's principal secretary, had asked him to keep it safely, did his life start to return to normal. But never did he feel safe, not for one moment. He knew later that morning he would go up to his study at the front of the house and check that the document was still where he had hidden it. It was a ritual, more than a ritual, it was an obsession. Sometimes he would check it 3 or 4 times in one day. The knowledge that he possessed the means to demonstrate that the Protestant queen was illegitimate, and that the rightful queen should be one of her cousins, either the Protestant Lady Catherine Grey, sister of the beheaded Lady Jane Grey, or Mary, the Catholic Queen of Scotland, was not something he could ever forget. His fear of what would happen if he should lose the marriage agreement beat in his heart, like his love for Rebecca Machin. Both were dark and dangerous. The ecstasy of his love-making with his wife was so blissful and so pure by comparison, and yet he could not ignore the dark side within himself. He felt Audrey turn over and cuddle up beside him, nestling under his arm. He was a tall man and she of average height, so his arm around her felt protective. She ran her hand over his side, where he had been scarred in a sword fight 5 months earlier. "How is it now?" "Fine. I don't want you to exert yourself."